हॅलो. येतोय का आवाज? हॅलो गाईज. 20 मिनिटं गेली. हॅलो. ओके. Okay, so we had some sorry guys, Uddesh and Prasad, but thank you guys. You guys are still here. I was not expecting that. We had some network issue. Net गेलं होतं आमचं आणि it is now back. So should we go ahead and start the lecture? काय म्हणताय तुमचं? काय म्हणणं आहे पब्लिक? Are you guys okay if I continue the lecture or you want me to do it in next lecture? What do you say? Today we are going to go through different types of what you can say nomenclature of the screw, different types of screw, introduction to that next unit. So you guys want to go ahead? Okay. So quickly, what I will do quickly, I will try to go through at least some part of it. Since you guys are here, and I'm really happy that you guys haven't disconnected because of whatever issues I was having. So I appreciate that, and I will open my notes and we have whatever at least we'll talk about it at least for 20-30 minutes, so that something fruitful come out of it after waiting for this much time. I'm opening my notes so that you guys can see it. Okay, so I have my notes open. I rebooted my system, so that's why it is taking time. So anyway, so we'll talk about now unit number 5, that is threaded and welded joints. So I hope you guys can hear me. If there any issues there, kindly immediately let me know. What happened, last time somebody reminded me, but that was it took some time. So if any issue is there, just immediately put that in a chat so that I will know about it. Okay. So what I was saying is that we'll talk about unit number 5. Till now, we did the 4 units, and we have covered it as per the SPPU syllabus. I tried to cover each and everything as per the syllabus requirement. But if anything is missing, kindly let me know. Okay. Today we'll talk about threaded joints and welded joints. We'll have an introduction to that today. There are 10 lectures for allocated to this particular unit, 5 lectures for threaded joints and 5 lectures for welded joints. Mainly what we are is basically mainly it is mechanics part is more actually uh, finding out the center of gravity and all that calculations are more here. Okay, design compared to design part, that is more in this unit. But for that, we need to know what is threaded joint and what are the stresses in threaded joint, and what is welded joint and what are the stresses in welded joint. So we'll start with the first half, that it will give at least 5 to 6 lectures to threaded joint. So we'll talk about it today. What are threaded joints? Okay, and how to find out the stresses. In today's lecture, we will not go into any deep details of the stresses. We'll just try to see what are the threaded joints, why it is used, and what are different types of threaded joints. Okay, so now there are many ways of joining objects, like in machine or anywhere. If you want to join two objects, there are many ways, like welding, brazing, adhesive, crimping, all those. Welding means you are melting something and you are joining those two parts. But the problem with the welding is that the joint is permanent. We'll talk about it in the second half of this unit. Brazing is similarly the joint is kind of permanent. Adhesive, again, if you put the as a adhesive, the joint is not, you cannot take it away and again put it back. Okay, so there are different types of joining, but fasteners, are is a one type of joint where you can easily disassemble the things and again put it back, like with the screw, nut and bolt. you can put the things, you can join two things, and you can, if required, you can take it back, disassemble it, do whatever you want to do, and again put it back like a wheel. On wheel, we have screws attached to the rim of the wheel, and with the nut we fix it. And if it is we have a puncture or anything like that, then we take the wheel out, we fix what the issues, and we'll put it back with the nut and bolt. So we get such kind of flexibility with these threaded joints, and so it is used in many places. Power screw is a type of threaded joint itself. Like we have the chapter number 4, we have seen the power screws is also thread. It's a threaded joint, but only thing is that their difference was it was the threads were taking the transmitting the torque or taking the load, right? Here that will not be the case. The difference between power screws and fastener is that fastener is used to join things. The main purpose, they don't have the main purpose of transmitting the torque or carrying the load. Load is not carried. They are simply main purpose is to join two things, to transmit those shear stress and all that. But the main purpose is joining two things. Okay, so the threaded joints are preferred to compare to others, that because they are easily to remove. Okay, so now main things is that with the whatever that we'll talk about the definition. Okay, let me just highlight the definition. Okay, let me just do it bold. Now this is what threaded joints are. Instead of doing bold, let me just do italics. Threaded joints are detachable. I'm reading the definition. They are detachable joints. So they are joints which you can detach, which you can take it out and put it back, of two or more components, component parts, either directly connected with each other or by standard fastener. So two parts are directly connected to each other. Like in case of wheel, the screw is fixed to the rim. It is not a separate. Sometimes what we do, we will have a separate parts like standard fastener, nut and bolt, like standard nut and bolt you will get in the market. That is it is not part of your component, right, or no, or assembly. But sometimes it is also a part of the assembly itself. Okay, so, like in a screw jack, we do not have the screw separately. It is part of the frame. Nut is part of attached to the frame. So, jack is a type of what you can say. It's kind of, it is part with the, it is along with the assembly. It is with the component. But sometimes it is not. We can have a standard fasteners like bolt, nuts, and screws. Okay, so that is the definition of threaded joint. They are detachable joints with two or more components which are connected either directly or by using standard fasteners. Okay, with this we get two main things. Understand two main things. That is, they are detachable joints. Means we can dismantle it and we can put it together together again after we fix the issue whatever we have. Okay, and so they have main like nut and bolt or screw. These are the main parts of the threaded joints. Okay, they are used to keep components in a desired position. Like with the use of these joints, riveted joints is also another type of joint. So with these joints we put those things together in a whatever position we want to have them. The force for the join, with the tightening we apply the force. So basically it is not to transmit the force, but it is just to hold or keep the things together. Okay, so these are the main what you can say things about the fasteners or threaded joints. So I have, see now there are images. I don't know whether you can see it. Just let me know. But these are the threaded joints, nut and bolt. Okay, you have seen it in many places. Many places you have seen it. But screws, like see the screws have, these are the screws, these are the bolt, and these are the nut. Now basically nut and screw and bolt are almost same, but with the different types of threads and heads. Bolt is basically female part of it. Nut is, and bolt is a male part of it, right? So nut has a hole inside it, and the threads are in the internal, and the bolt will have external threads. Okay, so that's how we define bolt, nut, and screw. Okay, a screw is a fastener which is used to fasten different parts by digging and wedging into the material. Now, with this screw, we do not use, generally, we do not use nut, right? We simply, like say, if we want to put a plate on a wood or on a wall with a screw, we simply push it and it will dig itself and we tighten it. Okay. So that is what is screw is. But with nut and bolt, that is not the case. We know that we have a hole between two things. We pass bolt through it, and we using nut we tight it from the other side. So bolt is a type of fastener with external thread, and nut is a type of fastener with the internal threads, or with a hole with having threads. Okay. Now advantages. They are reliable. Obviously, we can rely on them. They will not fail, and also they are flexible. They have mechanical advantage using the spanner. Means what? Uh, for to tighten it, we use spanner, and spanner is a type of lever. So we get a leverage that we apply by applying smaller force. We can have a huge force, in the nut. Like yeah, while tightening the screws and the bolts, nuts of the wheel, we want it very tight with a large tensile force in it, but with the help of spanner we get that mechanical advantage. Okay. The dimensions are small. They have self-locking property. Okay. Manufacturing is easy, so they are not costly. Okay. They can easily attach and detach, so they are flexible. And disadvantage is now they are vulnerable to due to stress concentration. Now, because since we have a holes in parts, we have to have holes. Like welded joint don't need to have holes, but threaded joint needs to have hole. Because of the holes, we get stress concentration in the this thing in your components. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages. Now we'll see what are the basic types of fastener. So there are main two types: direct joints and indirect joints. In basically, direct joints means we will not be using external parts. These direct joints they have internal external thread in the component itself. So like like in screw jack, the frame will have a hole in it, and like it will behave like a nut. So which will have threads. So direct joints are means we will not we have a separate fasteners will not use. The component itself have threads in that, and we can use that for the joining. Now indirect means we will use external things like screw, nut, bolts for the joining. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now, we'll see now what are different types of screws, what are different types of bolts and nuts, so that you guys are familiar with the those types. When we use in practical. Okay. Now, screw is basically cylindrical shaped piece, right? Which have a thread on outer surface of it. Okay, and on top of it, we will have a head, and head will have different types of shapes. Like the Phillips head might be there. Phillips might have a what you can say. It will have a four grooves, or it may be simple flat head. So there are different types of head, and depending on that, we will identify the screws. Like I have shown here many images and a description of those screws. Now this first is a deck screw. Okay, so it is it is basically it has a bulge head. It head is like a bulge shape, and square drive means it is having a plane straight. We need to have a screwdriver, straight screwdriver to tight it or lose it. If you see, there are no threads on top portion of this screw. Now next is a hex screw, means the head top or the head of the screw is a hex shape. So we can use a spanner to tighten or loosen it. Okay, self-drilling screw. Now this has a what you can see in at the front. There is a if you push it or if you rotate it, it will self dig. It will make a hole by itself. Now these are sheet metal screw. Now sheet metal screw they have, if you see the edges or the threads of the sheet metal screw, they are very sharp. So if you simply tight it or rotate it, it will go in wood or plastic or in metal. It will go by itself, right? And they are fully threaded shank. Means if you see, it is completely threaded because we want till the very end. We want it to dig and we want it to tighten. Now, another type is wood screws. If here the shank is not completely threaded, okay, and the shank is smooth, they are used basically. Their purpose is to smoothly slide through the wood. Okay, so these are basically mainly we use in wood. So these are different types of screws. Now we'll see now nuts. Nuts means it has a hole in it, and the hole inside has thread in it. So with that thread, we'll have a matching bolt or screw, and we will tighten it. It's a circular piece metal with a threaded interior surface. Okay. Now, generally, most of the nuts has hexagonal head, except for the very few, because it has a better application or better chance of better, you can be, fix it or tighten it better way compared to other types of. But there are other types of heads also, but most of them are generally six sides, hexagonal heads are there. So now, what are different types of nuts? Nut means what? Basically, it has a hole inside it and it has a thread, right? So first is cap nut. Now cap nut is have this is normal hexagonal nut, but it has a circular or semi-spherical cap at the end of it. It is just to avoid what you can say accident or scratches or anything like that. It has a dome top to have contact with the external head. Now coupling nut means that with this you can, it is a basically length is quite large compared to normal nut, and we can have two screws from the two sides, and we can couple those two male threads. So basically the purpose of coupling nut is to have two male uh, uh, basically two male screws or bolts. To join those we will use. So if you see, the length is quite large compared to normal nut. Now this is normal hexagonal finish nut. It has a hexagonal cap, hexagonal shape, and this is the most common. Like, and we use it in day-to-day life. Next is null thumb nut. If you see, some instruments have this kind of nut. Now it is a almost like nut is concept is same thread inside, but head will be it will not have a hexagonal shape. It have a circular shape, but it will have a grooves on top of it. So with the your fingers, you can tighten or loosen it, right? So this is, it will not have a huge force, but it will be easy to apply, or apply and take it out. Another, I said, this is not very common, but square nuts are also used in some places. And there is also type called wing nuts. If you want to have greater force or torque applied or greater force, then we use these wing nuts. Some places we use wing nuts also. It is the same kind of null kind of this thing. Uh, like application is like null type only, but it will have what you can say, with the wings we can tighten it. Okay, now bolts. It is another like a type like screw only, but it has now like it is not like screw. It will have a head. Generally, we use hexagonal head, but it may not also have head like this socket screw. It will not have head. So we'll see now what are the different. This is screw. Basically, it will have a shank, and it will have a thread, glued on top of it. People generally think that bolts and screws are not, that's generally the same. Okay, but they are not, right? Now bolts are used to join two or more unthreaded objects. So the threaded means bolt. When we use bolt, the object we are joining, though they don't have threads, they have simple holes. So we'll pass the bolt through it and we'll use nut and bolt to join those. But that is not the case with the your screw, right? Now screw we will use it to join two basically parts which are having threads. We will simply tighten it, right? So if the threads are there, then we'll call it screw. We'll use that thread, right? And that is the difference between bolt and screws. Now what are different types of bolts? Carriage bolt is also called as coach bolt. If you see, it has a domed or counter side. The head will be like a dome shape, right? But now this again, this is a common hex head bolt. Top is hex, the shank is is not threaded. Machine screws, then socket cap screws. It has this hexagonal groove in it. With that you can tighten and loosen it. Now, if we have like whatever concept we have we have seen with this coupling nut, this is similarly, if we have two nuts, we can couple them with the use the help of socket screws. They don't have any head, but we will couple them. We can couple two screws with that, screw nuts with that. And there is another like type screw square-headed bolt. So these are different types of. I just wanted to you guys to have to have a knowledge of different types of nuts, bolts, and screws. And there is one more component, that is washer. Now washer is used when because to transfer the force or to take the wear and tear. We will use washers. Washers are very important. They are made of different materials, like from metal to rubber and all those. Like if we want something to be leak proof, liquid is there, then we will use a rubber washer, so that the joint is seal proof. Okay, it is leak proof. So there are different types of washers also. Backup rivet washer. These are the washers for the rivet. Uh, these are the conical washers. It has a conical shape. Dock washer. So there are different types of washers. So these are important parts of the threaded joint. Screws, nut and bolt, and washer. These are important parts of the joint. Now we will see something called as bolt of uniform strength. Now, when we see bolt means basically it has a threaded part on the external of it, on external diameter, right? Now the thing is with the bolt of uniform strength means it has a strength which is same throughout. Now what happens that if our bolt is under shock or vibrations, then the core part of the thread, okay, let me just open, sir. If you see this now thread, the core or the root will have a stress concentration, right? So the failure of chances happening at the root are very high. So if this is for the ordinary or regular bolt, right? But if it is say like for this regular bolt, the weakest part is the core, or where the diameter is the lowest. So that goes under for the shock loading. It will have a stress concentration. So how we can avoid that, is that making the whole bolt of unit. So that means strength at the, if you see the normal bolt, strength at the shank is quite high, but at the thread core it is very low. So that means it is not of same strength. To make it of uniform strength, there are two ways to do that, right? We can make it means whole from the head to the bottom. It is of same strength. How we can make it? Now, if you see the weakest part of a bolt is the root of the thread. So whatever diameter we have there, that is the diameter which is having taking the load. So if we reduce the diameter of the shank to that diameter is core diameter. We have seen, if you see in our nomenclature, the core diameter is the minimum diameter, maximum diameter is the major diameter, and pitch is the average diameter, right? So if the diameter of the core, if we make the shank of the same diameter of the root of the or the core of the threads, then it will have uniform strength. This is one way. Or another way, we'll keep the shank as it is, but we will make a hole in it. If we make a hole, the area of the shank will be less. If you take a cross section of a shank, the area will be pi by 4 this diameter of the shank minus inside diameter of the hole. So that area should be matching with pi by 4 dc square, right? Are you getting my point? So what the concept of uniform strength is, the cross section area of the core diameter is equal to the cross section area of the shank. Are you getting my point? Okay, I'll again repeat. For when the bolt is under shock or vibrational load, then the main part which fails because of the stress concentration is the core of the threads, right? Or the root of the thread. Okay. So now if you see the root is the area where the diameter is DC, core diameter. So now this the shank part is having more strength, but the core part is having a less strength, or root having a less strength. So to make it uniform, what we will do, we'll make the shank area and the is equal to the area of the core or area of the root, right? So what is the area? DC, pi by 4 DC square is the area where it is having the minimum cross section at the thread. So we will make the same area here. So there are two ways to do that. We'll make first diameter of the shank as pi by 4 dc square, then it will become same and the strength will be uniform throughout. Or another way is that keep the diameter same of the shank, but take out inside diameter, like make a hole in it, so that the total area is equal to pi by 4 dc square. Are you getting it? So how we can find out? See, in the first approach, that is B, diameter is simply DC equal to core diameter, you are okay with that. But how to find out now what is the diameter of the hole we want to have? Very simple logic, that area of the cross section of the shank should be equal to the area of the core, right? So what is the area of the core? Pi by 4 DC square, right? Now what is the area of cross section of a shank with a hole? It is pi by 4 d square minus pi by 4 d1 square, if the d1 is the diameter of the hole. So if you simply match it, you will get the diameter. So it is shown here. So pi by 4 d1 square is equal to pi by 4 do square minus pi by 4. This is another way of doing it. Now what is this? Basically we want to take out that area, what is the area we would like to take it out? It is equal to the area of the outside diameter or the nominal diameter minus core diameter. So what is this area? Pi by 4 do square minus pi by 4 dc square. This is the area which we would like to take out from this shank, right? What is that? Pi by 4 d1 square. So it is one and the same thing. So what I will repeat whatever I just said. Pi by 4 d square, that is normal do square minus pi by 4 d1 square is equal to pi by 4 dc square. So it becomes one and the same thing, that is pi by 4 d1 square is equal to pi by 4 do square minus dc square. So that diameter of the hole will be root of do square minus dc square. I think we have only 1 minute left. I would like to cover the isometric threads. If it is possible, it's okay. Otherwise, we'll cover. So we know the terminology of this. We'll talk about the terminology in the next lecture. Basically, we have gone through it: major diameter, minor diameter, what is flank angle, pitch, and all that. And we will see what are the ISO threads. ISO basically standard threads, which is followed everywhere in the world. Since we had some issues in between, my lecture is there's only few seconds left. So sorry about that. Today we will not able to get all the 40 minutes of the lecture. Sorry about that. And tomorrow or in the next lecture, we will first see what are different. This is a part which I would have liked to cover today's lecture, but I couldn't. So we'll see what is the terminology and what are the what is iso threads. Okay, isometric screw. What are the how